Rock. Yes, 1, 2. Approval of the agenda. Our video's off, I just turned that on. Approval of the agenda.
So,
Second. Okay, all those in favor?
nice.
Any opposed? Okay.
We, may need to. Oh, I mean, you may need to add a little bit to it. And, new business to include the working group from,
Oh, yes, thank you. Yes, I meant to put that on there. So new business will add, what are they calling themselves?
well, I think they're looking at us.
Oh, there they are. What are you guys calling yourselves?
You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted right now.
Hi. We're the team from Conway who's gonna the Conway School of Landscape Design, who is,
Oh, there we go. Common School, thank you.
yeah.
We're gonna add you to new business, but we'll move you in as quickly as you can.
Great, thank you.
Okay, that was it. Instead that. Good. Okay, so minutes.
Very good.
March. Oh, that wasn't even, I didn't include that in my, the approval of minutes. January minutes. Okay, approval of January minutes. Your motion?
So moved.
Second moves, there. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, Michael, you're up. From the Regional Commission, septic pumping ordinance update and questions.
Yes,
Yep.
I'm hoping there's some questions because, as you know, we kind of got into this months back, kind of a flyer, you couldn't find anyone to do it, so we sort of volunteered. I'm never having done something like this before, so, did quite a bit of research, and it seems like the ordinance as it is generally okay. There's be a few edits, I'm gonna recommend a 3-year window versus the current 4-year window in here. And that's based on EPA and state guidance, best practice.
Okay,
Um,
what about, our, rentals?
sorry,
What about the rentals, our, short-term rentals?
I mean, they would have to do it just like anybody else. This
Yeah,
is not dependent on ownership or operation model. Yeah, it's not just owner occupied, it's everybody, anyone with a tank, as I understand it. Speaking with Morgan.
well, I made a comment way back about if the house is holding more people than the septic tank will hold, should they be done more frequently? And how do we monitor that? How do we find that out? That wasn't brought up in the ordinance, was it? I don't think so. No, there's something we can pick up here separately from the ordinance?
Well, I think the rub was, how would you manage that? And then after the discussion that the ordinance as it exists would act the same way for the short-term rentals and should, handle it. And nobody thought that I guess the number of guests were really being exceeded. There was no evidence of that.
Okay,
Yeah. So that's kind of where it ended up, is that the ordinance, the standard ordinance would probably apply.
A separate, you're talking about a separate ordinance related to.
No, the same ordinance would apply. There is a separate ordinance for short-term rentals, but it essentially is the same, they have to follow all the ordinance legislation, the separate.
Yeah, so yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. I think it's a owner education issue at that point.
Yeah, no, I believe there was some,
and different prompts to kind of hear people via the phone or email as well. So that's something I'm gonna be providing some information about. It's not
Yeah,
strictly speaking within the scope, but I came across it. That might be something you'd be interested in finding more out about, so.
so we're gonna know who these renters, rentals are.
yes, there's gonna be a registration. And, nominal fee. Now, at the select board, we voted on it, we did agree that the town attorney should have one last look. And then Bart, if you didn't.
So with that registration, do we make sure that some of Mike's information gets to them directly and again, maybe address that occupancy for each home? Is that gonna be addressed in their registering? That they're limited to how many bedrooms they have? The number of people that they put in a unit?
I honestly, I would have to go back and look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know when they first started, I know there were many homes that had way many more cars than there were bedrooms in that house.
Sure.
And they were there overnight. So you know that the systems were being taxed. Had them. And if that were to continue, then obviously we could have an issue
Sure,
with
yeah.
the system.
I mean, however, moving forward in future years, the town chooses to do outreach, I mean, that's dependent on current issues or whatever. So the same short-term rentals are be issued now, yes. So there's gonna be a registration. Is that what the new ordinance is?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's part of it,
Sorry,
that's part of it.
all right, great.
And then a cap on the number of units, which I think, for Grafton is gonna be 40. Based on the overall rate of 80%. And we're not, I think we're at 28. I think.
And there's another number of occupancy before the fire department gets involved or federal. Not federal, but state fire marshal. Yeah,
It's a state regulation, not a town.
okay, so they'd have to follow that.
Yes,
If they go over that, then they go by another set of rules.
yes,
Sprinkler probably.
right.
Yeah.
But it's not, Grafton is a volunteer fire department, not really set up for the regulatory compliance, so it would be the state fire laws
Okay,
and regulations.
Suppose you said there's 28.
Yeah, I think that's where it is right now.
It was as high as 37, so I'm wondering why 40 was set.
So it's a percentage based on the number of homes in the town. And then it's VLCT did come out with some guidelines now. For short-term rentals, they were kind of doing an evaluation. There were a couple of lawsuits that were in play, one in Burlington and another town. So as a result of those, they came out with guidelines. And for the most part, I think it followed what we had, but we did add a couple of sections.
Yeah. Should there be any thought to the distinction between the village and the town as a whole?
I'm sorry.
Should there be any thought given to distinguishing between the number in the village proper and the number in the town? In terms of potential.
Yeah, it doesn't right now.
so the percentage was based on number of homes in Grafton. Including Holtonville.
Yeah, everything was in the boundary.
Yeah. always put an asterisk next to that in your notes.
Sure,
If
yeah,
you will.
I think this would be pretty indifferent to the use going on in, the ordinance does acknowledge special circumstances where tanks might need to be pumped more. Given that you have a specific instance, might be good to articulate that in the ordinance or keep it vague and give yourself flexibility. That's sort of one of my questions tonight is in section 9,000, the owner obligation. It acknowledges that this situation could occur. Is there any appetite or need in your mind to be specific? You know, in these specific cases, you need to pump your tank more often.
So maybe there, one of those specific instances could be, short-term rental, usage that, requires more frequent pumping.
I don't know that I'd be that
And
specific.
I think it puts the onus on the homeowner, which I think we really need to do, because
Yeah,
we're not gonna have anybody going around checking, right? So I think, special circumstances that they need to be aware of, like require more frequent pumping. It sounds like there might be a short bullet list. So maybe we
It
add
can be.
usage of home as a short-term home. That way we're attacking it from the other direction where they're reinforcing each other.
mhm.
So those are the two changes that we're recommending, from 4 years down to 3 years, and to ask you if you want to articulate those special cases.
Mhm.
So other than that, the ordinance is fine, all the citations are still good. I'll get in touch with the town attorney, run by, you said, who is the town attorney?
Steve, Intuitive.
Yeah. And, Michelle can give you his, contact
That'd be great. Yeah.
information.
He's in Springfield.
Okay,
The other, special circumstance that I might list, is just, is this an older system? That, has, may have been put in before, modern standards, ordinance, equipment.
Mhm.
You might wanna pump it more often, just if it's an older system. If you just purchase your home, it's probably a good maintenance thing to, check it, and have somebody pump it.
so there is also an opportunity here to, let's see, add inspecting the tank. So say if someone doesn't get their tank pumped, provide, Morgan or Michelle, whoever the proof that they did that. If they don't, the town then goes in and does it.
They do provide proof now, that comes
Sure.
from Morgan.
Yeah.
I don't think we expect other than, but if there's no proof that it's been done, then you can, I think she follows up.
Well, one thing, whoever's doing the pumping there should be a checklist on there that we
The
receive.
homeowner is supposed to provide it to the town.
Yeah, and that part of that checklist should be, is it a metal tank, concrete tank, plastic tank? And whoever's pumping it should know what size it is. Just the right need to know that, whether it's 500 or 1,000 when they pump. They should have all those records, and they're not gonna come with a 500-gallon truck, pump a 1,000-gallon tank.
You don't.
Right, so
Yeah.
those are things that we need to find out.
Okay.
And keep that on
There's a
record.
little saying about that. But-
Yeah.
Okay.
That's I've spoken with a couple septic operators, but not necessarily about what an inspection would entail. So I can certainly get into that and provide you some
Yeah, well,
options. That's kind of what it sounds like you're talking
The
about.
two basics are, is it an enclosed system? Is it got a safe top? Is it, what's it derived of? For material, and how big is it? Those are easy enough to find out when they're pumping.
Yeah.
And when they pump, they should know if the leach field is working or not.
Sometimes.
Okay.
They probably will know if it's failing.
Correct. So, on their checklist, they should say suspicious leach field. Um. Again, putting the onus on the homeowner, but
Yeah,
it's their own good to
Yeah.
get it taken care of.
yeah, you wanna deal with that early rather than before disaster hits. And,
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunate things coming back up, but
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That's the last bit here. You guys lost me talking about it, but. There's these maps at the end of the ordinance, they just say this is where this is in effect. I would imagine that this map is different from whatever today's map would look like. So. I asked the question when I first started this, if anyone knew. How these maps were created, no one could tell me, does anyone? Here now? Okay, so I'm trying to figure that out.
What map are you looking at?
Sorry? Oh, this is a Grafton Village, it's the septic pumping area. So it's included in the ordinance, it's based off of a town plan map, it doesn't say specifically. But the future land use map is the most likely one that it's kind of getting it from, but. I'm sure there's been construction since whatever, 1998, this was.
Did you say a town plan then?
Yeah, so the ordinance references a map in the town plan as the basis for,
yeah, that's an
For
old,
these
that's
areas.
old.
There's no such map as that in the plan itself, but
there's not,
we've taken.
the current plan.
Okay.
yeah. So I'm just gonna be specific about which map, which existing map that they're gonna.
Well, the most accurate one will be from, Ty and Bond. In their engineering study that they did, they have all that laid out. Where the wells and septics, sit.
Perfect.
And more current than the 98 would be even the,
Yeah,
Otter Creek.
you looked 4 years ago. Did they do?
yeah, it's been 4 years now at least.
I'll certainly look into that.
Yeah.
Who, I know that Morgan is out on leave for the next little while.
Michelle Dolph. will be-
Michelle, okay.
will be your contact. Or Kim,
Or Kim,
our town clerk, yeah. Or me, or let me know and I'll.
all right.
help you out.
That's really it as far as the ordinance goes, any changes that. You all were thinking above and beyond kind of what I already know, I'm open to suggestion at this point, but. I don't see any major changes being necessary. For this. So.
Yeah.
Good news.
Yeah, the most important thing is gonna be education. And having as much educational information. Even for those that know, just a reminder. You know, what goes down and what doesn't. I know I'm always very conscious of what goes down our drains. And at least bit of food waste gets screened out. It all adds up.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not digested, it doesn't go down the drain, basically.
Really.
And also the detergents that they might be using. That are going into the system, make sure they're septic safe. Includes dishwashers and washing machines.
I haven't looked at the materials specifically that the EPA provides, but I'm gonna try to find something, yeah.
I think most everything's septic safe now.
Oh, chlorine bleach certainly isn't.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, for dishwashers and
Yeah,
detergents. I mean, can we recommend using the organic?
I can
no,
recommend whatever you like, yeah, absolutely.
No,
I think we're getting a little bit over regulatory.
no. It's gonna ruin someone's septic system.
Oh. Advocating that it's gonna be, that it should be organic is, I think, just. Getting a little over
Okay,
the top.
So that's all I've got about the ordinance. Do you guys have any questions? For me about anything included or anything that should be included?
no,
That's what we're doing.
When's the last time you invoiced us?
Last month, I feel like I just wrote a progress
You did?
report.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did, okay. Yeah, because they are asking for our invoices, and then something we'll talk about next. With Weston and Sampson, is we gotta have them produce an invoice based on a conversation just today with. Yeah, who's in charge of our grant?
Oh,
I've got it in my phone, I'll look up with it later. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on her name. But yeah, as soon as you, I mean, just. As you need to invoice.
Okay, yeah, I think the contract says monthly or even quarterly, but
Yeah. No, they're looking for for invoices, or they're gonna be taken away. So
we
no
don't wanna make
funding.
the state grumpy, that's for sure, so.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll stick to monthly and. I mean, it should be over in another month and a half anyways, so. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll hoping to get a draft to you next week, with all the recommendations and. And about the list of materials, so on and so forth.
Now, are you gonna produce the pamphlets for us, or is it gonna be something that you suggest us to have printed?
I will either recommend an already created. Already created materials that you just kind of alter to your needs. Or you would create them after the fact, yeah, but the EPA has a lot of materials out there, so. I can certainly take a stab at the checklist. After speaking to some more septic operators about what they're kind of looking for on their inspections.
Mhm.
That's definitely something we can do.
Okay. All right, any other questions, Mike? No, well, thank you, Mike.
Thanks,
thanks for the update.
have a good night.
Yep, anything else you need, just let us know.
I will.
How about you wanna move, the Conway School up?
Yeah, we should be,
Yeah.
respectful of each other.
Yeah. We're gonna move you. Oh, you did?
Can you hear us? Good.
Technically.
Good. 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 Let me see if they're ready to rejoin.
Frozen in time.
This is, they're from the Conway School,
Yeah,
and they're offering their assistance.
yeah, I saw that.
I think that's a good
Yeah,
proposition. Helps them, helps us. Get some fresh, young ideas. You got the same email, right? Let's see something. Anna, Chase, and Elizabeth?
I'm gonna. Put in a reading room and see if I can rejoin them.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie's with us too?
Yeah, he's in the living room as well. Ah,
Yeah, they
Sorry there.
you had frozen and we didn't notice for a moment.
Yeah, we froze, but we could still hear and see you.
Okay.
We were hoping we would unfreeze.
We're gonna move you up to our next, agenda item. So there's
Okay,
Anna,
yeah,
Chase,
sure.
and Elizabeth. Who else is with us?
Liz,
Who's
Hi,
Anna? Anna?
Anna, I'm Anna.
Okay, hi, Anna. Elizabeth? Liz? Yeah.
That's Liz.
And Chuck?
Hi.
Chase.
Chuck?
Oh, no, I think there's
Oh,
a,
Chuck. Yeah.
Chuck, okay, yeah. I'm Matt, who you emailed to. And Eric Stevens, Ron Follett, and Buzz Fisher. So
Hi.
we'd be glad to hear what you have to offer for us.
Yeah, good to see you all. We just wanted to take the opportunity to introduce ourselves. We're planning on coming to hear Matt's contribution on 181, but I guess that got bumped.
We'll do that next.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We'll still be around. But we just wanted to say that we're looking forward to meeting you all and working with you and hopefully developing some tools that can help you in dealing with potential futures around flood risk.
Yeah, and you're specializing in historic villages? Is that what
Yep.
you're planning? Yeah, have you got other towns in mind?
Yeah, we have two other pilot towns of we have Newfane and Wardsboro as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. And when do you plan on starting uh, your work?
We started.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of our next steps is meeting with our pilot towns. So meeting with you all, either in person or by Zoom, kind of whatever we figure out together.
Yeah. If you're gonna do a road trip, you can hit all three towns fairly easily in one day, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, let us
We're
know. Well, be nice to meet you directly and show you around town.
Yeah, we're gonna be up this weekend. It's short notice, but and it's also a busy holiday weekend. Um, but we're also planning on making another trip up as well.
yeah.
Um,
Saturday afternoon we would have some availability. We're gonna sit in for the Weston special town meeting and then meet with Wardsboro. But if anyone's around on Saturday afternoon, let us know. And otherwise we could find another time that
I
works for
won't be,
folks.
I won't be unfortunately. I don't know if anyone else can.
Saturday.
Not Saturday. Eric, possibly?
Possibly. Unless,
Oh, yeah, I'll probably do that. You know, but don't go skiing.
I think it'd be important to show them, where we had issues during Irene. It'd be important.
Mhm.
And some of the village that was affected.
So you're gonna be in Weston in the morning and Grafton in the afternoon? Okay, we're specifically in Grafton, or do you know yet?
we don't have an agenda yet for Grafton. We're meeting with someone in Wardsboro after our Weston meeting
At 1 o'clock.
at 1 o'clock, and then yeah.
So after that, we would have availability. But you have our email, yeah? So we could maybe
Yes, we could.
chat about it when
maybe-
you have a little bit of time to think about it. It's not so much
Maybe I
putting you
could-
on the spot.
I'll get you some phone numbers. I'll get you mine and maybe Eric and Buzz.
Great.
I'll send you cell phone numbers.
Frozen again.
What's your interest in Act 181? Curious.
Someone want to
it's
try
frozen.
putting it on their computer?
We can
Can't
hear you.
freeze
so-
screen.
Question for you.
Yeah. Yeah, the question was, your interest in 181 and what's your familiarity?
Can you hear us or is the audio gone too?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh, great.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mostly, well, the future land use zones are somewhat applicable to looking at where structures that are in zones that are flood risk areas might be relocated in an infill situation. And honestly, also just to hear the conversation that you all have with Matt and what sorts of things you bring up. We're just trying to get any insight into the towns that we can.
Yeah. So that's Matt Bachelor's gonna be speaking in Weston on it?
The Weston is a different thing. That's the town is voting to decide whether to accept state grant money to redo a bridge. So it's just a chance to talk to people around river-based infrastructure and see a town meeting in process up there and kind of get a sense of place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions for them or?
no, I would say that, Wardsboro is more like us than any of the other towns that they're going to visit. It's gonna be tough if they're gonna be Weston, Wardsboro, and then trying to come here all on the same day.
Yeah, it is a little bit, yeah.
Limited, sunshine. But we definitely have had a problem with flash flooding in the past. Very little trouble with inundation flooding.
Mhm.
And where that has occurred adjacent to flash flooding, there's a wild wetland buffer flood floodplain right now set up so that there's no development there. That's done in Cambridgeport. So we have to worry about um, water originating basically from the town of Wyndham and coming down three pretty steep stream beds and converging right in the middle of town and taking out infrastructure.
Yeah.
It's a real worry because with the FEMA funding vanishing, we could be set like Lindenville has been for the past year and a half, 2 years, I guess. Being virtually bankrupt by the flooding that they've had up there, flash flooding. We were just lucky.
They occur. We've had 4 in the last 30 years. Which is about the historical average. For flash floods.
Right.
The 20 major ones designated by the Vermont Historical Society, I could be off, in the last 200 years. But of course, they don't occur on a regular basis. But they come. What happens is not 1 in 1,000 years, no matter what they say. It's
Yeah.
averages every 10 years.
It's mostly from summer thunderstorms, most of our flooding
Yeah.
now.
Well, yeah, my memory's not that great. Thought we had one in December. I know I couldn't get home that time, but how I remember. And one of them was an anomaly. This is the 96th one, I think. Where we had a storm cell that stalled over Grafton 2 days in a row.
You just lost him.
Yeah. And it just happened to be in the exact same spot in 2 days, and we had 4.5 inches one day, through the next day, and on
That
Saturday.
was the summer one we had.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was, I think in June.
yeah,
So,
that's where they came up with the rain train, right? Rain training,
There was some after that, yeah.
yeah, and that's where I think they started that terminology,
yeah,
rain training.
I don't know if the terminology accomplished, but
Shortly
anyways,
after that,
yeah.
the weather station basically was shut down.
Mm. Yeah,
I don't understand.
get them back, no?
Well,
Oh,
they'll have to call back in.
yeah,
I'm watching to see if they rejoin the list.
yeah. Well, that was an introduction, they showed an interest in Act 181 on March 10th. The only reason I put that in here was,
Don't want to rename Chase. You're back.
We're back.
okay, give us some valuable information, it's gonna be on the exam. We're not gonna repeat it.
It does sound
Fair
like you
enough.
have a lot of valuable information.
Yeah.
We hope to meet with you in person soon.
Yeah. No, Ron was mentioning, a couple of storms that happened back in 96 that were kind of an anomaly.
Mhm.
And, I recall that one vividly.
I do too.
Yeah, it was a freakish afternoon thunderstorm. And, that was quite something. Not just here in Grafton, but in Chester and all around us.
Well,
Uh,
no,
no,
Well, Chester got hit.
just barely. I was out of town when it hit here. And we were trying to get back into town when found out, there was only one road into town. We basically went around the periphery, trying to find a road that was open to get back into town.
Yeah,
And it was only the 121 going out to
Yeah.
Cambridgeport.
no,
It was open.
Yeah.
We got to the top of Chester Hill and
was
looked down
yeah,
and there's nothing there.
yeah. My wife Anita was the last one to go down that hill as the water was coming across it.
Oh, wow.
It was just starting to come across. She got down the hill to go pick up our son at school.
Wow.
And she couldn't get home. Bridget had already gone out. And our dog was in the backyard. And in his little kennel. And I frantically ran from Red Orchard Road up at Martin's. I ran through the woods to go get the dog, and everything was fine.
Yeah.
Everything was fine at our house. Dog was fine. Hey, glad you're home. And we went running into town, and I helped Lou Gross.
Uh-huh.
He had some medication that was coming UPS, and UPS was on the other side of the river. I went across the river to get his medication and brought it back to him. So all kinds of little things happened that day.
but it was purely local. The storm cell chose Grafton, stayed there, and then came back the next day at the same time.
Huh.
What you wish. The NOAA did a study. And one of the things they posed as a possibility, just as a possibility, you know, so it's that Grafton is sort of like at the bottom of a bowl, very shallow bowl. And these were very low-lying clouds, and they may have been trained and just caught. You know, all of that was, you know, they were clear that they could not, you know, prove that. They just said that was one of the possibilities. It's very interesting. Never happened since or before, as far as I know.
Wow.
Doesn't have to happen again either. On R181, we're meeting with Matthew Backler in March. If you're
Right.
interested in attending that with us, Matthew's gonna be going over that quite extensively. And we're just learning about it now as well. It's only been the past, 6 weeks maybe that we've been aware of what's coming down the pipeline, and a little bit of it's frightening. I suppose it has some valuable points to it, but it's definitely gonna affect smaller towns like us. For sure.
We have a lot of tier 3 designated area.
Probably not as much as Townsend and Newfane on the down.
Townsend's got one.
Yeah, Townsend is like the entire town, I think. Yeah, Newfane, probably, something.
So is part of your study looking at relocating properties or dwellings? What is, you're actually looking for?
It's like identifying opportunities for new development outside of flood prone areas, but that can include relocating an existing you know, if there's like a hospital or a library or a town office or something that's in the flood risk area that needs to be relocated, in addition to just new development, like housing or other things.
We're working with
Yeah.
GIS and mapping tools to try to identify areas that would be suitable, that would preserve the character of the historic downtown, and also just kind of trying to create resource that would help you imagine different possibilities going forwards. That's a little ambiguous, but I'll get more clear.
So
Yeah.
as we teach ourselves about the situation we're trying to develop kind of a thought process or a set of criteria that the planning boards in the region could use to go through the same process.
Yeah, and we played around with your town a bit and looked at the library because
Yeah.
that does seem like it's in the floodplain.
We moved your library already.
Yeah, doing a little bit of scenario planning, but
Don't tell the librarian.
it's a beautiful library.
Yes.
Looks like.
Well, there's also the old fire barn. Is that historic building at all?
It's a letter or phone?
The old fire station.
The old fire station?
And it has actually been moved in the flood before, as I understand.
Fire station.
Yeah.
Oh. That's the building across the street.
Across the street, yeah.
Yeah.
Where was it? Every time.
Oh, it just moved more incrementally as a result of.
Oh,
flood
well,
waters.
because it's, it wasn't that.
Like Claire Catharsis, an inch a year.
Yeah, then the building next to it, that little red building is the old post office. And that's basically built on land that covers the 1 foot all around the building, that's it.
Wow.
And it's been used as a little gift shop in recent years. But it's considered the old post office, of the old post office.
Neat.
I don't remember when was the old post office, eh?
No,
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 I-
because even when I was a kid, it was still,
yeah, it's here, yeah,
my mom did.
I'm sure.
That's really interesting.
What's it?
Interesting.
Interesting.
It's interesting. Yep. Good. It's
Yeah.
good to hear the stories.
Lot of town
Are
history.
you familiar with the building that was removed after Irene?
Mm.
Was it an
We
antique shop?
saw on a parcel map that there was a building that was washed, that's listed in GIS as having been washed away. Maybe it's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It wasn't washed away, it was.
we did have one of those.
Correct, but we did have one that was washed away, it was actually built on stilts. That was in the riverbed.
Mm.
That was down, east of town. Just before the fire station. You saw where the fire station was? Not too far from there.
Mhm.
House was completely taken out. It was a small cottage. And for some reason it was built on stilts and the stilts were down in the riverbed.
When I built it, was playing with fires.
How it lasted as long as it did, actually. Is that it? That was just those two, right? The one that washed away and then Aggie Antiques.
Well, yeah, the pump house. So.
Pump house.
Yeah.
Was it Aggie? No, pump house.
And then the one in Cambridgeport, the garage, it's a working garage.
Oh, that was,
The garage was after.
Oh, and
And that's become a park. Purchased with, it just better than but anyways, it's.
down across from Wilson and Lawrence, the little cottage there.
oh, the Rogers house.
Only Rogers.
Yeah.
No, it's Woody Plus.
Yeah,
That, was it washed away or just one
Yes.
washed away? Oh, and Bobby Arbuckle's garage was washed away.
Yikes.
Yeah, I used to kid him, I said, we found your garage, he goes, yeah, where?
Oh.
Old Saybrook. Connecticut.
Well, hopefully all the people were okay, but that's pretty scary.
Yeah, yeah,
the house that was built on stilts had occupants in it right before it went down the river. The fire department came banging on the door.
Also,
We got people out of there just in time for the thing to go. whoosh.
that house wasn't above the time. I always thought that was a
Yikes.
good.
Well, we appreciate you adding us to the agenda for the evening. Don't want to take up too much of your time if we
Yeah.
still have other agenda items to go
yeah,
through.
nice meeting you and, hopefully we can help you and you can help us and have a fun experience.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
We'll be in touch over email.
Yeah, and if is phone a better way to get in touch for planning a visit, or is email good?
Uh, email's good. If you want to email me, I'll remind me to get you some phone numbers.
Great.
Okay.
And I'll get you mine and Buzz and Eric give me yours, cells, and we'll share them with you.
Will
Perfect.
do.
Look forward to seeing you guys. Thanks.
Great. Good to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Yeah, it wasn't what year was it? Where a tractor trailer coming down Chester Hill lost his brakes. And came screaming down and went across Main Street. Managed to miss the end of the bridge, went down the riverbank and ended up resting on the back of the antique shop.
Wow.
And that guy had a ride, that must have been in 1978. Maybe 79.
Wow. So he went between the house and the bridge.
Yeah,
And
we
landed in
got
the.
around the end of the bridge. Yeah. And then missed the house and ended up leaning against it. There's some pictures of that.
So he must have been moving.
He was moving, yeah, because he was entirely in the riverbed, stayed on wheels. Resting against the back of the antique shop.
I don't remember that. Do you?
No, that predates her coming into town.
Yeah, I remember it when everybody went to take a look. I know there's some pictures around, and I'll have to find them.
Huh. Well, I was around. Was it in the summer?
Yeah,
I probably just.
the school was going over.
Hmm.
I'll look for it. I'll find, see if I can find a picture.
At the same time with that picture, you and your classmates, isn't that?
Yeah,
You graduated high school in '78?
no, 82. I graduated, from Grafton, so.
Yeah.
Cause I went to 8th grade back then. I graduated class of 6. It was 6.
Mhm.
Me, Lisa Boots, Roberta Martin. Robin Mann.
Was Lisa older than Chris?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was the older sister. I think she was in Florida or something.
I graduated college in '78. Way old.
Oh, no, that way.
So on Act 181, Matthew wanted this just to have, just like with Michael McConnell. He wanted to make sure we had a good Q&A forum. I think we can come up with enough Q&As for him, huh?
Yeah, and somebody's gonna have to bite the bullet and get a listing of all the properties that fall under the zone. And basically give them an education about what's going on.
And have them attend. I mean,
Well, if they don't want to, I'm sure, but at least give them the heads up that this is happening.
mm,
Yeah, they probably should get a letter. Probably from the select board though.
Yeah. Well, it'll be from us for this.
It could be, but I'm just thinking they want like. More official, which is.
Yeah, get their attention.
Chair of the select board assembly.
so in tier 3, right? In
Mm.
Pottenville. Rural stage, both, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that many, I would imagine, to get started, still. Both directions.
Wasn't there some other spots or were those just, natural areas like up at Turner?
They're not shown on the 181 map.
No, there were some, remember there were some,
yeah, headwater stream area.
yeah, those we don't need to worry about, right? Because those are never gonna be touched anyway, right?
For the most part, yes, so you. See. Trying to figure out where. Oh, there's Turner Hill right there and coming back this way, the headwater stream areas. I think it's basically all swampy. It's the power line exchanged land that conserved just off the map here into Athens. So that it's probably better protected down here under my finger than it is up in here.
Mhm.
All those little blue stripes there. Degrees of protection. But the real honors.
And this is, basically coming from Wyndham through Grafton and then goes into Chester, so that's the corridor they're looking at.
Yeah.
That,
Doesn't go past that.
yes, it does, it goes up into Wyndham, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it goes into
Yeah.
Wyndham. It doesn't come the Chester route along there. Popple Dungeon, I believe, if I remember right, it's just partially shown.
So why would that just dead end there?
Well, you know, when I looked at this, the first talk about it, I thought, geez, I bet you they're gonna do some sort of checkerboard connection to the whole state. And it, you know, which didn't make any sense, but I thought that's how they might be looking at it, but it's not. You know, these are isolated connections.
What are they plowing?
So if you,
I think they are intended to be connectors between forest lots. That go basically up the whole state.
well, in terms of, the going from one place to another place, yeah, you can make a connection. I don't know if it's, no, designated connections yet. I'm not sure. But if you look at the map, you'll see it's just, you know, you have these, sort of Lego, you know, things, spotted here and there throughout the state. Anyways, you know, that's certainly appears to be around here. Then you have a place like Townsend and looks like they just the whole thing. You know? Someone must have something in for somebody there or anyways.
So what's gonna be the best way to, can Kim do a quick look see there as to who owns property there, or when we put that on?
Well, we could ask, the folks downstairs to just generate a list. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Just fill out the terms.
And the one thing the state has said is they don't have the funding to contact these folks.
We can do, you know, not gonna cost any money for the job.
No. And, you know, I know. Oregon was in on this and, wanted to make sure that it got plenty of advertising for folks to come on the 10th.
This is a plot, the parcel land that wanted to do with them, so
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Good.
Oh, Meadows End? No,
no.
Oh,
they were over on, ridge line by the power
Yeah.
lines. But that, I bet you that is part of the Townsend
It's a forest law for sure.
forest block that goes down into Townsend that you're talking about. That's not on that, maybe some, did you?
It's beginning to be, yeah, the road to Houghton, beyond Houghtonville to Wyndham is shown.
Buzz, I'm wondering, can you bring up that map and show it there so we can look at it together and zoom in and out? That's possible?
Let me see. Oh, actually, I'm leaving with a hue. I'm not reading. Oops. Size keyboard, what?
All ranch road,
Hmm?
all ranch road,
This is Fall Ranch, right?
yeah,
So what's this? Is that Popple Dungeon? Must be.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
so, who lives right here is, Phil Atwood.
Yeah,
He lives right at the bottom of Old Stage.
Hmm.
So these folks would be out of our. Uh,
we wouldn't have to worry about them, but the Chester
Chester
should.
should, yeah. So we're looking at, Boltonville. Old
Stage.
Stage, all of Old Stage, right to the border, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then.
Actually, I think you just went over the border.
emailed us in connection to the 181 map.
Did you?
Yeah,
So we're not talking a lot. What we talking about?
Show was the email on the next page. And that's what you gotta find.
Why isn't Putnam Forest in there?
don't ask.
Why would they brush this? Brush
Leave it
it?
alone.
Let's see a map like this.
This doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. It doesn't.
And it probably makes more sense if you layer into it this road rule. And I believe their strategy is if they don't get you with a tier 3, they're gonna get you with the road rule.
With 800 feet or more.
Well, stagecoach would make sense because, you know, you've got 5 feet on this
Mm.
southwest side that you can quit. And then on the left, the west side, all you do is go straight up pretty much the whole routes. So you don't
so
have to
what-
worry about 800 feet.
So this is Chimney. For Chimney, right?
Mhm, looks like it,
This is going up to the
forest.
Putnam Forest.
I wonder if the Wyndham Regional Commission would have 181 on their site, plus,
Oh, they've been out holding public forums and,
yeah,
yeah, it's
so
been,
that may be the.
Take down to that. There are no maps in here somewhere, they just have.
yeah, scroll down to near the bottom. Whoop. Oh,
Really,
huh. Okay, the page that you're looking for has the map link down near the bottom. And the link to get to that page is on that email that handed to you.
Now, I had asked Morgan for the link to that. And she sent it to me by email. I thought that probably put that to everybody.
Yeah, I've got it on my phone.
Yeah, just my mail's over here and this.
I see.
I don't see it.
Was a link to click,
The tier 3 rulemaking report.
yeah,
Yeah,
once you go to that. Page, then at the bottom of that page. It has the map. Link.
This is like 2 times as big as my keyboard. I keep putting my fingers in.
Well, here's the email that Morgan sent out. You know, put it in the Grafton News.
here,
There you go.
that looks. Yes, that's it. Just hit continue at the bottom there.
So the little lines that you see on there are the actual
Parcels?
parcel lines.
Yeah, I was wondering,
You can almost count them.
And I know there's a cell phone app that is, from a realty group that can give you parcel by parcel, information from
Well, can you zoom out a bit so we could see the other way of it?
Yeah.
So zoom in or just want to see the connections to, okay. So it's Popple Dungeon. Then you go along 121. Dive into a bit of one.
no. So I think, you know. Oh, the person.
One of the things I worry about,
Yeah, actually, I just clicked on a parcel and it's showing me,
hey,
who the
yeah.
owner is.
okay,
Um,
well, it's easy enough to get there.
you'd have to go through and. like,
Click it all.
Click them all. But there are some large ones up there. Oops.
well, you get into
Well,
Meadows End if you go towards
yeah,
window.
you've got the, what is it, the Krugers or, what, just get the name mixed up. They have 2,000 acres they could buy. And Joe Polio probably still has a lot.
That was a pretty decent size. Well, yeah, you could get the impact ones, I guess, built in.
But one thing I wondered about is the village is, all decked out in red lines. And I don't understand if that allows, certain aspects to be bypassed. Someone wanted to build, especially housing. I'm not sure how that's being worked out.
It does, but you have to sort of enroll the town
Yeah,
in it. And that's not straightforward.
yeah. I'm just wondering if it's anything to worry about, somebody comes in and puts up 6 units, floors or something like that. Gets the okay.
Myself. Area code 802
So some of these parcels, you'll
289.
notice it's like the very corner, there are 4 chimneys.
Parcel is that?
Yeah, I'm just saying,
What's that?
Which parcel is that? That's in the
Says the,
tier 3 zone?
the very corner of it, you'll see. I was gonna say, some of these properties are just kind of on the edge. Or this
Oh,
corner.
Rochelle. How many, they had a lot of acres in the 4 chimneys, and they had 4 chimneys, and of course that's sold a couple of times. But, they needed to, couple of the kids, a lot of the back part. Back,
This says it's 82.1
yeah,
acres.
beautiful, beautiful beaver pond that was just expanding over the years. Is really an amazing place to go. And so that must back into Stagecoach, which makes sense because we used to walk all the way from 4 Chimneys to Stagecoach on winter, snowshoes.
did you have to drop down into that ravine though? Ravine?
No,
Yeah.
no, it was up and down and hilly, it was beautiful, beautiful area. And people had built, what do you call them, the gear platforms, hunting platforms.
Yeah.
Um,
All ranch route.
yeah,
So yeah, you could find,
Is it giving property?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
usually some. Well, it does say ownership may have changed, property transfers occurred.
So if we gave, Kim the property parcel numbers, she'd be able to. Well, she's not gonna have time to do that probably.
It's quite a few.
well, we could just ask downstairs to look the list. And
Well, would you also notify, like, this one has like. The very corner, so they're kind of impacted, right?
They're trapped, they're really trapped there.
Yeah, cause they're locked right in the middle.
I think we do everyone that it touches, just so no one.
Well,
sues us or
Where's
something.
Lisa's property? Zip down to 121. Right around in there. It looks like it just hits her property. We're just
Oh,
on
Lisa Kissel,
it. Yeah, right there. Is that hers?
yeah.
Does it touch it?
It does.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that might explain a lot.
What's the acreage on that parcel?
108.6.
And she picked up interest in it then?
Yes, yes.
Well, she was part of the,
A couple of the folks in the, well, the names better than I do.
yeah, they did an afternoon meeting with this Alex, from the state. And he answered their questions. It's kind of putting the cart before the horse, but they get the ball rolling a little bit. was interested who was involved with that meeting.
The Akers property.
I was just saying, it was Dave and Ellen's.
Oh, they both have a great interest in this,
Yeah,
yeah. So
Wow,
I think just the mailing, the first thing they can just say, hey, you know, there's gonna be a meeting on March 10th where we have the WRC here to answer questions and your property is, you know. You know,
are you gonna see
draft
Ellen?
designated tier 3.
Will you see Ellen or Dave to let them know?
Yeah, but I'm saying we should do a mailing.
Yeah, email them, but if anyone we know,
Yeah.
I mean, it affects Al Sands too, right? Al and.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We told Will about it when he was here
Oh,
last time, when he was here for our meeting,
Yeah,
we told him to affect
and they
them.
didn't know about it. If I remember.
yeah. 2,800 acres.
What's that?
Rugos, yeah, that's the name I was blanking on. Yeah, they've been buying up land.
2,800 acres.
Who?
Ruger.
Ruger?
Ruger,
Yeah.
Big parcel.
yeah,
Is that up by their house? Their house. is
Yeah,
off.
and it goes to Wyndham.
yeah. I believe he had the property when we did that logging on the other side of 121 a few years ago.
So that little Wyndham there, that to your left. That little piece, how was that a corridor? It goes nowhere.
Was that Abbott Road or something? It's not
Probably.
Abbott Road.
There's the river, is there a brook that goes down there? Hey? Is there a lake?
There's the power lines right there to the right, you're almost on the power line, I think. Why would the power line just be a corridor? Should be right up through the power line. That makes sense.
Certainly the animal's gonna travel out. Well, this is to basically make sure that the animals can cross roads, which they're making the bold assumption that, they have to have a half mile of roadway, quarantine for them so that they can
That's
cross
what
over the road.
that's the one I was thinking of, is the timber, Netherlands, or Meadows and Timberlands.
Yeah.
That's a little far, so.
Yeah.
You knew there was a fairly
That's close, that's gonna be, what was that, 1,000 acres in there?
Well,
15,000.
1,600 acres. Well, how about a motion where we ask the, select board to contact all properties that are touched by
Tier
in
3,
any way by tier 3, to let them know about the March 10th meeting. We don't have to say anything more.
It's gonna be like anybody on Stagecoach Road.
Yeah.
well, we have, announced it at town meeting also, town meetings week before. But we wanna let them know ahead of time too.
Yeah.
They can bring it up at town meeting if they want.
Oakville Cemetery was, in Noah.
Well, it can be a topic of discussion at the town meeting, but I think the idea is to notify property owners.
Yeah. We wanna make a motion?
That, we request the select board to contact all property owners within the tier 3 draft designated area. No matter how slightly.
yeah. I would second
Right.
that.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to.
Have a surprise.
This is the sort of thing that might get nasty before it gets pleasant.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I'm surprised the group that started their little. Group. The group that started their conversation with the state. That they didn't go further.
South Asia is right in the limit.
So request select board contact all property owners in tier 3. Mapping. Road map,
Draft mapping, that's.
draft mapping.
No matter how slightly.
So contact by letter form,
Sure.
or via letter form. And contact them in regards to our March 10th meeting.
Yeah.
Yep.
With the written representatives in the Wyndham Regional Commission.
Yeah, if you really wanna get their attention. You can describe it as, state zoning of our land.
Yeah. Well, that's as good a description as I've heard so far, very nice,
State zoning,
yeah,
AKA state zoning.
quote unquote, I would say. Okay.
Yeah, but, I mean, Townsend is just.
Yeah,
Well, we also talked about getting together with the lieutenants. Do we invite other towns to this meeting too, or? Or those representatives?
so why not, yeah, and ask her. Ask the select board to CC. The chairs of the select boards of the abutting towns.
Yeah,
And I've been talking with the clerk of the planning commission in Townsend. Andrews Snell.
How much in Athens? Am I right? Wait,
Not quite, well,
actually,
actually a fair amount.
oh, that area that's in Athens,
We kind of through here,
okay.
and then here.
okay, so I have a motion here, it's voted from Ron, seconded by Eric. I'll read it, request select board contact via letter form all property owners in the tier 3 draft mapping. With regards to our March 10th meeting with Wyndham Regional Commission. And CC to chairs of abutting town planning commissions.
I didn't hear that last part.
CC to chairs of abutting town planning commissions.
Yeah, and the select boards too. This thing's gonna continue, so it's not gonna go away.
So basically, we're inviting folks to our meeting on the 10th. We should just make that our one agenda item for that night. Obviously.
Yeah.
So this is that Meadows and Timberlands. But they actually approach pretty close to what's in Athens. Oh, they be notified as well.
Are they in Grafton, any of the tier 3?
Yeah, this is Grafton. But this is in Athens, but I mean, it's not far. Someone for this little, there's 2 little parcels that are kind of surrounded by the Timberlands.
Yeah. Is it the power line? Sure, it's not good. So who does the power line have a right of way through their land? Or just the right, those power company own that strip up through.
It will be, yeah, it's a right of way.
And you can see where they definitely follow the roads. Specifically,
Okay,
it goes back to here, they basically don't want any more roads off, any more long driveways off of these roads.
Off, the road rule goes for anyone. If they don't cover with the tier 3, they're gonna get, well, the road rule.
All right, motion down.
And it goes into effect end of June, I think.
yeah. We're just moving along.
Of course, our goal is to contact these people and at least make them aware of what's going on.
Yeah,
With
there's gotta be
this,
a little bit of narrative in there telling them what tier 3 is all about. That letter.
So,
I suspect they would know. No? Okay, then.
I mean, we're just figuring it out, so we're kind of tuned into the situation.
how am I adding that in here? Adding in description of tier 3,
Yeah, what it does.
so is that something we should kind of draft up now from us as a recommendation for wording or? Who else
There
would word this out?
should be a link to the map in the letter. They
Yeah,
how to
that should be there.
look at the map. And
Which is this,
If you go to that. If you go to this, it's on that page.
I think I've got this in an email, but I want to take this. Thank you, out of this.
Wait a minute. Well, I can go to it on my computer and send you the link.
Well, yeah, would you?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Can you have it again?
Yep. Well, what's your cell phone? I'm gonna send these, kids our cell phones.
415. 846. 20.
846-1801.
Yep.
Hold on.
My number from when I lived in the Bay Area. 30 years ago, I've had the same number.
Yeah, 415. Yeah, I'll send this off to them. All right, so we have a motion. I'll add in. Okay, request select board contact via letter, all property owners in tier 3 draft. With description,
with what?
with description of. Tier 3,
Yeah,
or what it means.
And that can be kept somewhat simple, like simply saying that a tier 3 designation would give the state
Development zoning.
develop, well, yeah, it would, put that in both, but I don't mind saying that, but certain rights over, you know, potential use of property.
Yeah,
Just keep it simple and
and this all started back in the last legislature, correct? And our wonderful representatives voted for it, wouldn't veto, the governor wanted to veto it,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't. Accept the veto.
The Act 250 folks, the sort of the diehard, Agency of Natural Resources has wanted to impose Act 250 on as much land as they can possibly get their tentacles into. And this was just a way of freeing up, offering the people who want relief of development of housing, relaxation of the regulations in the village areas, a way of, some flexibility. And they basically said, if we give you this flexibility here, we want everything outside to be locked on their clutches. And that is,
With their ultimate goal being what? Why would they want so much control?
wow, that's a good question, because Act 250 has been about control everything, ever since its inception, so they want to basically take your property rights and tell you what you can do. It's always been the case.
I mean, there are different agendas going on there. Who's involved, but one of the things is to eventually force most of the population to be
Community.
literally a dozen places in Vermont.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not everyone's agenda at the state level, but that's certainly some of the crazier politicians have made that very clear, you know, so.
And ridding the individual.
Yeah.
Homesteads. And the big landowners, what happens with big landowners? You know. They put their land in land trust anyway. Which you can't do anything with it once it's in a land trust. Correct?
Yeah.
For the most part, yes, the land trust is very restricted.
No, can we tell from any of that mapping what's in the land trust or not? Did you happen to notice that in the descriptions?
What's that?
On these parcels, does it indicate whether they're land trust or not?
No.
I didn't see any verbiage about that. But it's ArcGIS, it may be on another layer. Land trust.
I'm sure we're still working on the motion. Well, just doing that. I think I've got it. I'll get this written out. I'll CC everybody on it. And then get it to select board.
Yeah.
And they're gonna ask who does this, who writes it. We don't have Morgan right now. What's Michelle's capacity? Just anything that Morgan did, Michelle's gonna be able to do or help us with?
In theory, she's doing, she's not doing full time, she's doing additional hours. But yeah. Covering for everything more than if she feels like it's falling outside her area of responsibility, she probably calls and we can decide. Something
Well, I'm gonna take this motion and formulate it into what should be in the letter. And then present it to the select board, this is our recommendation, and.
Sure.
Who pays for the mailing? Select board.
We'll
planning
pay
commission.
for it.
We'll pay for it?
If it's sending out, you know, if it's select board sending it out there, send it out, it's gonna cost $30, you know.
Money well spent to inform folks that probably don't have a clue that this is out there.
Right.
I mean, we're just touching the tip of the iceberg on it ourselves,
That's right.
and most laymen are not gonna know what's going on. And again, the group that Lisa and Suzanne had, you know, was half a dozen people that, you know, of the half a dozen, there were 3 or 4 that weren't even landowners. So why they were even part of this group, I have no idea. I'll put that on record. And where they're going with it, we don't know, I haven't heard anything more from them.
Hmm.
Whether they've held other meetings or what.
At some level, who cares what they're thinking right now, because they, you know, whatever. Has got them worried, they're not letting us know. I mean, it could be anything, they could be in favor of this, you know, they could be, you know,
Hmm.
against it, they could combine both in their group, because they haven't figured out what it is yet, so.
Yeah. But most of the questioning was, you know, how do they inform everything?
The interest comes its own way. You can tell something about shit. Kind of natural.
Yeah. So the green areas are what I'm trying to, and Oakville, so
This is that one we were kind of looking, there is some up there. Looks like in that area.
all through here.
Yeah. Yeah.
One possibility for interest of, you know, the renters in the village. Is they see the red hatching. Wonder what that means. You know,
For the
they're not
most
worried
part,
about tier 3, they're worried about, you know. What is that, tier 1.5 or whatever they call the village things, but, well, that could be said. Don't know.
but I believe that those. Variations on tier 1. That are in the red hatching. Have to be opted into by the town. And otherwise, it's just the same way it is right now. Right.
Well, yeah, I wasn't sure, so. Clarify. But yeah, the town opts in, who wants to participate in that. But given, you know, the way the state works, could they decide on their own to purge?
So,
You know, anyways, I don't think that's our worry now in terms of figuring this out. We just need to keep on pressuring both for more, you know, the WRC and the state for more information.
Yeah.
And also see what the possibilities are making them go away, which are probably now.
Okay, so we still have the motion, I'll work on presenting it. Already up. Before the weekend, and. You have another meeting on Monday? Do you next select board meeting? Okay, let's up as a motion, present it. Maybe Catherine put it on the agenda. Should it be an agenda item for the select board?
I think so.
Yeah. Just make it, this stuff should be more and more public rather than just so.
Yeah. Okay. And then, okay, so all in favor of the motion? Not opposed? So approved. See, Ron made the motion, right? And Eric, you seconded?
Well,
Did we get it? Did I get a second out? Okay.
Second something,
Eric second,
and I motion something.
yeah. Okay. Somehow I'll get that into the minutes too, right?
We'll try.
Moving along, real quick on Weston and Sampson, it's wanted to, there's new levels out there already. Before we even started our testing, they've lowered the level. So pretty much you hand them a bottle of, plastic bottle of water and find PFAs in it probably. We did get a call, actually Kathy got a call from, we were trying to think of her name earlier. Yvette. Right, was it Yvette?
I think so.
She's in charge of our ramp. And she's looking for an invoice from Weston and Sampson and wanted to know how much are we gonna be spending? And Kathy knew that, it's pretty much the water testing plus whatever else might show up, so it's kind of open-ended.
Yeah.
Long and short was of Sabetta. Is her last name?
awesome,
Yes, Alyssa Sabetta.
yeah,
Thank you. If we're not gonna use all of that grant, they're gonna take it away. So we could pump,
Maybe a larger amount.
yeah, there's 200 roughly, 184
Yeah.
or something, I forget the number. We're on that water sampling of around 30,000. WRC, and the septic pumping, it was, what was it? 10,
I don't know.
Something like that.
so we're 40. Maybe it doubles to 80 if there's other things that they need to do, or if they find it, they'll do more testing. I doubt we're gonna be able to do the monitoring wells.
Well, with 30,000, was that one time only, or was that when, we were talking about they would do a second round? Just
That was
before the end of the 1 year period,
That was at the end of the
so that
grant
includes
period,
2
yeah,
sets and.
yeah,
We don't wanna go out and spend the money just because it's there.
No,
sure.
That's not the.
if we can find a location, we need a sampling well, we've gotta get the damn thing in. Quick.
yeah. So that's kind of the open end on it, and, she was gonna contact Lee from, Weston and Sampson. Get more details on what the costs might be,
Well,
and then I'll let them know that you just present us with an invoice so we can get them
yeah,
in the loop that you're working on something for us.
they always knew there was no guarantee that this would be funded through 10 years, so.
Yeah, there was another.
Yeah. You're lucky to get it funded for the first year.
Well,
The discussion on the radio today about PFAS and, there was one caller from Vermont that called in. And they're in a fairly isolated zone. Well, you'd expect they'd be, free of any PFAS, but they tested their water and it came up with PFAS content and turned out the only thing it could attribute it to was the ski area next door and the ski waxes that were used traditionally.
Ski waxes and then the snow max that they use for, improving snow, production.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not sure, I know it's a bacteria. I believe it's bacteria. That they throw in, it's called snow max, there's other trade names, but it increases the. production of snow. And they used to add that in, whether they still do or not. I'm pretty sure they do. And what's in that, I don't know. Now, I had a thought the other day, we were talking about movies, and remember Funny Farm was made here in town?
Mhm.
Remember we tried to make snow in October with the fire truck, bringing water up there and trying to make snow
Mhm.
at like 40 degrees, it wasn't happening. What did they wind up using for snow? Was it foam?
I don't know.
I'm wondering if what they put on the ground up there has ever gotten into our water supply.
Did they, blow something around when they did that, but was it partially in Kentucky?
Not sure on that one.
In the Clydesdales,
Yeah.
Main Street? Yeah. Cause, I wasn't here, I was, I can't even, probably California at the time, but I heard they flew snow. It was real snow,
Hmm.
I think there was real snow. I was on the pumping detail with a fire truck.
Right, we were trying to get some water to the. I forget where they got the guns from,
Yeah,
they were trying to make some snow and it just wasn't cold enough.
there's a lot of water pumps.
Yeah. I remember being up there one night helping you guys,
Okay,
when I was on, well, I was on the fire department.
yeah,
But I'm trying to remember what they actually used to cover the ground white
I don't
and
remember.
how they picked it up, or did it just get washed away? Whatever it was.
we see as a soap flakes sometimes, I have them.
Yeah. Just a thought,
Thorough watching,
you know,
a thorough watching,
Yeah,
or if they're talking about waxes off of skis. On a ski slope. But
yep,
okay,
we
that,
call Hollywood and say, gee, you know, you were in Grafton.
I don't think they kept track.
I know they killed the trees down in Townsend, copper nails, putting their lights up in the trees. They had to replace all the maples on the common. Out in Townsend,
Copper nails.
yeah,
Huh,
no, it wasn't copper, they should have used copper. It was something else, either was,
and zinc.
whatever nail they used killed the tree. All the sugar maples that were in the common, the older sugar, big old sugars,
yeah.
they died within like 2 years, gone,
Hmm.
and they
Well, iron
replaced the trees.
shouldn't have killed them. Zinc, maybe?
Yeah, copper would, because when you do a copper, when you protect a dead product tree, you're using copper and copper nails.
Make a good murder mystery where some local starts checking into this and finds connections with, somehow
It was for event,
because it's not looking and then, it shows up with his throat cut.
got some maple stick for the direction.
And they fulfill it, yeah.
Now it forces them to drink PFAS.
Okay.
So. There's other sampling being done at the school and neighbors, I think, is Charlie still on, Charlie? Yes.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, sir, I'm assuming you were probably interested in our PFAS discussion.
Yep, very much so.
Yeah, maybe you can have more to offer than I have.
Well, I'll be happy to tell you what I know so far. And probably most of which you already know. But in 2018, we received a letter from the state, the DEC, saying that they want to monitor what's going on in homes surrounding the school. And could they have permission to do so? And I said yes, and they put 4 monitoring wells on my property and on other properties surrounding the school. During that, from 2018 till today, they would monitor and come out every 3 months and check the wells. And during that period of time, PFAS would go up and down. And the issue was, what was the standard in the state of Vermont? And the standard in Vermont most of the time was 20 parts per trillion. And very rarely would our findings go above that. But the federal standard dropped years ago down to 4 parts per trillion. And Vermont took time to decide whether they wanted to go down to that level. And so recently, only about 2 weeks ago, Vermont went down to the 4 parts per trillion. And that number is a lot of the monitoring wells around the school on other properties, that number was being breached. And so I've been going back and forth with the state since 2018, and they gave us water, jugs of water, during that period of time. And they have now agreed to pay for, I put in a filter system because I just couldn't wait any longer. And I don't know if you've ever seen these things, but they look like 2 gigantic torpedoes in your basement. So in any event, they have now agreed that they would pay for the monitoring and the new filters going into our property, but they wouldn't agree to pay for the system that I put in. That's a little bit of a disagreement I'm having with the state, because they said that I didn't wait long enough. And I said, well, I thought 8 years was long enough to wait. So they are now going to go back to the homes that surround the school, and they're going to monitor again. And they know about what the town was going to do or monitor. So these homes would not be part of the town's expense or whatever the amount of, I mean, I just heard you talk about the amount of money that is going to be spent. So it would not include those homes that you've decided to monitor if you have done that, made that decision. But they are going to go back to the homeowners that surround the school to start the monitoring again, because the standard has gone down dramatically to what the federal state standard is.
So you're going from 20 down to 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the rationale for reducing it? Do you know that?
Well, I guess the rationale was that the federal standard was 4, and doesn't mean the state has to adopt it, but it seems to be the standard that most of the states are adopting now. And so Vermont has agreed to go down to that number. Because of all, I mean, you know, I know that you have sent out recently a video regarding PFAS, and it's all over the country. And additionally, what you were just talking about, the foam from the fire department, that is one of the major causes that have started all of this. It was down in Florida, was that foam. And in any event, it didn't start with my home. It basically, they believe it started again with wax from the school being put into the septic system. The school's well has filters on it, and so it's protecting the kids now from PFAS. And my system has been tested, and it's down to zero. So these filters work very, very well. They're very expensive to put in, and that's my issue with the state. They're saying that I put them in too soon and they can't pay for it. So anyway, that's an issue for me and the state, not for the town. But
who pays for the schools testing and the filters? Is it the state or is it the school system?
the state is still monitoring the school, the school's water. They do that.
Did the state pay for their filtration system?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And that's my issue with the state. I believe that their letter back in 2018, which I signed, said that they would take care of putting in a system for my home, my well, if the system was, if the water was found to contain PFAS and it wouldn't attenuate. Attenuate is something that it just gradually over time disappears. PFAS never disappears. So that's our disagreement as to how you interpret that letter. In any event, they've agreed to pay for the continuing monitoring. And then depending upon what happens with the new wells that they're either going to open up again or put in around the school homes, depending upon what is found there will be another issue for us. But right now, that's what the status is.
Yeah. What's the longevity on those? How often do you have to change them?
I'm sorry, what was the what?
How often do you have to change those filters?
They come in, it's Culligan, and Culligan, the reason I used Culligan was because Culligan was what was used at the school. They come in, I think I'm sorry that I'm hesitating because that's an issue I'm having with Culligan as to when they come in. But I believe at least they come in once a year, and they look at it and they take out, they regenerate the filters. But now what the issue is they are going to work with the state, or the state's going to work with them, and they're going to report back to the state as to my home. But it's at least once a year that they come in and refresh the filters.
Mm-hmm. And you've got Atlas is doing your testing.
Atlas is doing Atlas. That's exactly who it is. Atlas is working again with Culligan and with the state. Atlas does the testing.
Yeah. Yeah, so we chose Weston and Sampson, and maybe good to have a second company that's doing some testing. I don't know, what are your thoughts? We chose Weston and Sampson over the others based on their the bidding process and the way they presented themselves. So no other homes have been tested as far as we know, other than the few around the school.
That's right. They did test the few around the school. I actually asked them because some of the wells, I have a field next to my property, and there was 2 wells in that field, one well in the backyard and another well, and two of the wells or 3 of the wells were coming up dry. Nothing was happening, so there was no problem. It was really right by my well, that was having the problem. And so they came in and removed those wells, testing wells. I'm not privy to what they have done with the monitoring wells that were at the homes that surrounded the school originally, because they were not interested after a while because it was below 20. But now it's 4, so that's created an issue again for them.
Yeah. Now, there's a new house down below you that was built.
Yes.
Where is their well? Do you have an idea?
I think I know where it is. I believe I don't know if you know my field, and there's a little trail and you walk down and you end up between Wendy Martin's house and the new house. And
Yeah.
I believe their well is on that side of the home, I believe. So it would, I guess if you looked at the house, it would be on the left-hand side, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious if they're contaminated down there.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems that the water flows from the school's septic somehow down my driveway underneath, past my well, which if you look at my home would be on the left-hand side. It's right on the left-hand side of the house. And then it goes down to what was Denise's home. And then, which is concerning, could flow out into the river if that's happening. And I don't know that it is.
Yeah. How deep is your well? Just curious. That's being contaminated.
I guess I should know that, shouldn't I? But I don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I believe that I have been told it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, the depth and then the static level and then the recovery rate. Those are all interesting points to understand what might be going on with the PFAS, I think.
Yeah.
How much does that water, how quickly does your well refill to back to its static level? When you drain it down?
I don't know that. We put in a very intricate system because it was not only PFAS, but it was also staining our shower and our bathroom with rust. So we have a system that takes rust out. We must have the purest water in the state of Vermont at this point.
Yeah. Well, rust is common, I think, in any well, whether it's a dug well or artesian well, even. Could I ask you roughly the cost of a filtration system?
Yeah, if you'll let me ask my wife just a minute. How much was the cost? Yeah, I think we believe it was almost $6,000.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have an ultraviolet system also that was put in at the same time. Yeah. Because remember when the town checked for E. coli? And, we also have E. coli. We were told the fellow that did that was terrific. He said everybody has it, but anyway, we have that system in too. So
yeah, and those work quite well. Those ultraviolets for bacteria.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, the reason I wanted to be in the part of the meeting was because I saw PFAS from Morgan. It was great to send me this, and I just wanted to give you an update so you know what's happening in our section of the village.
Yeah, well, this is going to be on our agenda, going forward here for the balance of the year, just to follow what Weston and Sampson is doing, and our goal is to see what else is out there, and hopefully we don't open up another can of worms. but with those low levels, it's, I think it's inevitable, we're gonna find it somewhere.
I think so. It seems to be, I mean, I live in New Jersey, my wife and I, and we have a public water system and, you know, it's there. Now you have a big municipal water company that's taking care of it, but it seems to be everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even the water's coming through plastic pipes, even,
Yep.
1 inch black poly pipe. There's PFAS right there on the pipe itself. It's feeding water to the homes. How relevant that is, I don't know, but you'd have to think. Wherever there's plastic, there's PFAS.
I wouldn't say that. Because the PFASs are all fluorinated hydrocarbons. And the common plastic pipe is just polyethylene.
Well, how are we getting it from water bottles?
It is probably coming in form of a contamination, not an intentional source.
And not from the plastic bottle itself?
Probably not. There's some sneaky additives that are put into the manufacture of a lot of different plastics that are called plasticizers. Often not even mentioned on the ingredients list, if you will. And they can either be harmful or not. When I worked at a biotech firm up in Lebanon, New Hampshire, they had a lab set up specifically to take samples of materials we were going to be using in cell growth machinery, put them into the lab and test their biocompatibility. Because one of the big things that most of the plastics that are fabricated have are plasticizers, and they can either kill things or not. And you oftentimes don't know that they're there.
All of your plastics are injection molded. Even your black poly pipe comes from injection molding.
They're extruded, yeah.
Extruded, yeah. Yeah, well, Charlie, I'd love to have you be part of our study going forward. And give us any information that you have. That comes from the testing.
I have, since this all started in 2018, I send the results of the water testing to Morgan. So there's a big file somewhere with all of my info. Yeah, and I will be happy to do that to keep you informed. And I will.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for attending and waiting for us here tonight.
No, I thought it was a miracle to get in. I don't know what was going on, but I just couldn't. I was having trouble getting in, but then I finally did. That was good.
Yeah. We wound up with a busy agenda after all, and appreciate your waiting and helping.
No, I was happy to wait. What I meant was I just couldn't get online. I was doing something wrong, but I finally did get in. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah, and thank you. All right. Any questions for Charlie? Anybody? All good? Okay. Thanks again, Charlie.
Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I think in lieu of time, we'll skip the town plan. I had a potluck topic if we had time. Pick a topic, and we need to start working on that. We got a lot of things going on now all of a sudden.
I've got a question here. I didn't want to ask it. Earlier, John. It's just because I don't know, but what's the actual danger with PFAS?
I asked that question to Lee, who's from Weston and Sampson. I kind of made a silly comment about, the amount that you're gonna find is probably not gonna harm you. And apparently, this level of 4. Not sure the study period, but it's showing up as a cancer. In their studies.
Okay,
I
so.
don't have the clinical research
Okay,
available, but it does cause cancer.
Yeah.
It's-
well, it's associated with it, let's be careful with the word cause, but anyways, but anyways, okay, no, I didn't know.
It's associated with
One should look.
cancers. Uh,
Okay,
but I hear you, at what level is anything safe? You know, it's in the dose, not the,
well, yeah,
not the toxin, it's the dose.
no, we don't know that for a lot, but if, if they found an association with a serious disease, then we take it seriously. I sent you that article,
Yeah,
about, all these things that are found when they can test for them, at minute levels, most of which have not been shown to have any relationship with a problem, a health problem. But some of them get ramped up,
Mhm.
but, it's associated with cancer, but guess what? They take that one seriously.
yeah.
Okay.
That was Lee's answer to me when I asked, I posed, not a question, but I just made a comment. And, I said, we can probably drink the water, but I didn't have an issue. He said, no. At those levels. But it was showing that, cancers are showing up,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, okay.
again. Can they prove that, or what else is in the environment
Sorry.
what else in the environment is causing it, it's almost everything.
Well,
Uh,
no, not almost everything, it's a whole lot of things, but a very small percentage of what's out there, And it just,
yeah,
which makes it a much tougher issue to address. You
There-
can easily misspend your money by having a shotgun approach, we
Right.
found this, we've gotta get a way of, reducing it and getting under control, and, so, and. It's not a criticism, it's just, it's a very hard nut to crack when you have so many things out there, because there are, you find a way of testing for something and you'll find that there are. But
Yeah.
which ones do you really have to make sure you're on top of?
yeah.
That's a harder question.
A
Okay.
lot, most things are. Like a lot of the crops I use, they're taken up by microorganisms, bacteria, they just eat it right up. And it pretty much makes it benign.
Yeah.
With PFAS though, that's not happening, with the exception of
Yeah.
whatever research at Texas A&M, we haven't get there again.
That's because the chemical bond is so strong.
Yeah,
Fluorine likes to really grab onto things and.
but you had a good article that
So-
sent us too, that, was it a bacteria?
Yeah, they found a bacteria that will actually eat it, but you basically have to starve the bacteria so they can't get anything else and feed it this stuff and it will break it down, but it's not like it wants to.
Yeah. So say on the same concept of microorganism activity, breaking almost anything down.
Right. There's another class of chemical contaminants out there in the water that are hormone mimics that can cause all kinds of problems with not just us, but all kinds of other critters. And that has an effect on the way the human body develops.
Yeah. There's a lot of things going on at the DNA level. With humans in general, everything's changing. Protein levels, and. Okay, so we have a motion that we I'll work on, public comment. Joe's gone.
Where are we now?
Any old business?
Well, yeah, we had said we would, and then I wasn't looking at the agenda carefully enough last week to notice that it really wasn't on. I just saw town plan, but we were gonna moving ourselves through dealing with the town plan that we have to write. We were gonna look at maps and tables all the way through,
Yeah,
stuff like that. That can be put off, although next month is just that.
well, Matt Backler will be here, and he's the one that we want to do an A on, the map, the other parts of our town plan.
Yeah,
So we could probably drill down a little bit on
Yeah.
that if we have time.
because, just very quickly. Certainly, we're gonna have to bring front and center 250 and 181. Okay, so our land use chapter, and how that gets addressed is gonna change somewhat radically. It was sort of like the background chapter. for us. Well, then, I notice that we have a tremendous number of figures and tables. And it seemed like a lot, and I was looking at this thing, so I went and checked, Chester's, Townsend's, a couple others. We have at least 4 times as many figures and tables as any other town plan. And so then I started looking again. I said, this is just filler, you don't need, So
Yeah.
that, I think going forward, that's something we should think
Simplify it.
very carefully. It's very easy to fall into just reprinting the same thing and updating it. But most of these are really not necessary. And then just cleaning things up. We have chapters in which the figures and tables are numbered, chapters in which they're not. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Being
House clean.
consistent, so
Yeah.
it looks more professional. That's, And then there's gonna be things that go, clean heat standard is gone, so everything that relates to that has to be, rethought and how to put forward the issues that are still important.
Mhm.
Wind is gone, so, that stuff is, so anyways, it's not gonna be that straightforward to update the figures and tables.
It's a matter of cleaning up what we don't need anymore.
That and, and maybe adding a couple, certainly the 181 stuff.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a nice little map on that and the discussion. Maybe by the time they get to finalize this, it won't be a draft anymore, but draft or not, it's gonna be,
Yeah,
so. maybe-
as we talk about PFAS and our testing, how do we insert that into the town plan?
Yeah,
It's
well, it goes in with.
Water quality.
water quality.
Yeah. And somewhere in that education chapter, we have to lay out that it's costing us more than $40,000 a student, okay? Now, that never ever gets put forward, because we see that our town part of the budget is what, 18,000, 19,000.
Yeah.
When we're spending $45,000 enough per student.
Yeah,
You have to say it, it doesn't matter where the money comes from, it's still taxpayers' money one way or another.
yeah.
So
So,
that has to be, so there are things like that, anyway.
so we get town meeting coming up, we'll have town meeting before our next meeting. There's a pre-town meeting, February, 26th?
Second approval, and. Kim just sent, that was in.
It's a Tuesday, be the 24th.
Is it the Monday or the Tuesday, but it's, not next week, but we can.
So for,
Any advertising and perhaps the news that we need.
Commissioner,
Yeah, remember.
anyone have anyone else in mind for possible recommendation?
For the planning commission,
Yeah,
I mentioned Clayton Thomas.
yeah.
A young body, never hurt.
Yeah, I sent them an email.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice young man.
Send them
Rich's
another
son. I think it'd be good for him, good experience, and he'd
Yeah.
offer his young mind for us. He'll help us remember things, maybe.
Yeah.
Um. All right, so that was old business, any other new business? Public comment, next meeting is March 10th. We'll have pretty much, let Matt have at it with, 181. Right? And we can also grab his ear on other things that we're gonna be looking for from him.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's gonna be busy with that. For, June anyway.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we still got, we're gonna have to get rocking and rolling at least sometime this summer. Plan. Cause then we're gonna have to have a draft together by next year. Right,
That's about right.
July
Yeah.
next year maybe,
I think we should have at least a working draft by the end of this year. So,
so I like your list of, can you have a list for me for
what?
what you, on those charts and. Data that you think should be removed or,
No, I mean, there are a couple of things that, I thought of. No, I think that's something we should go through together. I don't think it'll take long, we just roll them through and just, I mean, the first thing to note on most of them is no other town plan that I know of ever put in a draft of that, so why are we doing it? And we may have a very good reason, I'm not saying that. That's not the case. It's just that we went, let's say, a visualization process rather than a description process, but the descriptions are there. And so, I'm not against keeping it, I'm just saying, to me, it's a red flag that stands out from all other town plans, that's what.
Mhm.
And it's not a small change, as I said, it's, easily 4 times as many.
Okay, motion to adjourn,
So move.
Okay.
okay? Yeah, 9:19.
7, 8,
No,
Oh.
you ink pen for something?
Thank you.